All right. My name is Jacob Hayes. We're back with the 707 squad. And for tournament 9 years we've been doing this thing. I placed third, and I played Charlie Brown's Halloween Treats. I got a rock. So Adamancipator with just a bunch of other rock cards. I thought the deck was pretty fun. In fact, it's one of my favorite decks to play right now. There are some questionable decisions I made, and we will see those as we go. Some of them worked out really well, some of them not so much. But that's the fun of playing the game and learning, and of course it was a great tournament. So we'll start with the main deck. 44 cards. That's the first questionable thing, right? Okay, so start with the minors. 3 researcher, 3 seeker, and 3 analyzer. That's standard. You had to play 9 of them. Researcher is of course the best, but if you open like both of these together, then you get 10 mills, and that's really good. So you can't run any less of them. You can always cut analyzer if you know you're going first for a good going first side deck card, because you start to summon it when your opponent has a monster. That's the only time you would ever remove one. For other, so I played one Dragon Knight, which is kind of random. It only comes up to draw a card, or if you open it with like a researcher and like one of the reborn spells, because then you can use the Salamangreat Almirage and make a cool play with that, and you get the draw because you're summoning it off of the spell, and then you get the stack, right? So that's kind of a cool interaction. The fact that this was water was helpful when I wanted to summon Dragon from the extra deck, but every other time I wanted it to be Earth. And when it wasn't Earth, I couldn't summon Nat Beast, and that was frustrating. So this card, I don't know what to think about this card. If I just cut it entirely, then I'm down to 43. That's closer to 40, so that's probably the right decision. Next, 3 Doki Doki. This card I've seen been cut more and more, and that makes sense because you discard and get ashed and then lose. So it kind of makes sense. However, it is a starter card, and if you open up this, and let's say you open this in a Guardian, you can normal summon, pitch the Guardian, summon an Analyzer, and then you have an Analyzer mill. And if it gets hit, your hand was already bad, but at least you had some starter. If you just normal summon Guardian and then reveal the Doki to keep it, I don't know how, maybe that hand's better, but I would rather get to an Excavate rather than sit on a Guardian. So 3 Doki Doki. 1 Weeping Idol. So the thought behind this was that you could summon it off of Gallant Granites, and it could summon itself from hands. Unlike if you had already gone to like a Researcher or a Seeker, you just banish one of those from grave. So it was a free level 2 summon. You can make Herald of the Arclight with it. This is also another cuttable card. So now we're down to 42. Okay, nice. 3 Guardian and 3 Supplier that could search the Guardian. This also can summon from hands when you do a synchro play. These cards are amazing. Guardian is, I think, one of the reasons why this deck is legitimately playable, because you normal summon Guardian, special summon Researcher, and you can combo for free. You don't have to worry about Nibiru, you don't have to worry about Ash, Gamma, any of those things. So, of course, MVP. And then the Prank Kids package, what I think has become pretty mainstay. 3 Roxys and 1 Dropsies. I had the full Prank Kids engine here where I was playing a Fansies and a Lampsies, and I was playing the Battle Butler. But I found that I hated seeing these other 2 possible Prank Kids, and the Battle Butler I didn't think was strong enough. And I would rather just sit on the Doodle Doodle Doo and link it into a Appaloosa. So this card's great. I mean, it's level 4 Earth, Rock, and with the free Link 1, like, this engine is way too strong for you not to be playing it. 3 Parallel Exceed. I saw people playing 2 today. I don't know why. You want to see this card in your opening hand. This card is insane. You get to a free Gallant Granite. You can just make an Abyss Dweller. You can just keep them both on board, and then you have 2 materials for an Appaloosa. This card's insane. And there's also a win, so you get the Riptide effect to do the DD Crow. It's insane. I love this card. And to play it at any less than 2 or any less than 3 is like, no, like you want to see it. It's the idea that it's not searchable, so you want to see it in your opening hand. That's why you have to play 3 of it. If you open up 2, it doesn't matter, because maybe you discard 1 off of the Roxy's effect, right? So definitely playing 3 of these. For this little small engine, this could also just be the 4 cards to cut to get down to 40. Miracle Rupture and Foolish Burial to send Revival Golem and Tackle Crusader. You don't play 2 Miracle Rupture because it's a once per turn, so you play 1 of each. Revival Golem was fantastic because it's a level 4 Earth, but beyond that, like it was maybe like the worst card to see on a reveal or on an Excavate because you just wanted to send it off of this. I thought Tackle Crusader was going to be better because I was expecting strong floodgates, but whenever I wanted to use it to like his Book of Moon effect, it was like for a link monster, and you can't Book of Moon a link monster. So I like this card in theory, but maybe that's a side deck card. Okay, now we're down to 41. Okay, nice.
Man, it's cutting down.
And then for the last, like, we'll call it combo card, Recover, that's how you make Naturia Beast. Naturia Beast is the reason why I got third place today, without a doubt. If I didn't have Naturia Beast, my deck would be very different. For the hand traps, I mained 3 Ash and 2 Meister. I thought these were the best for our format. I think a lot of people also agreed when they kind of figured out what everyone's deck was. I thought these were also the strongest against the Brain Kids matchup, and that was because 2 people were playing Brain Kids. I knew that it would be more valuable for me to main cards that were for sure good against 2 decks. And I thought 5 was appropriate. Shout out to Gabriel Vargas when he topped the 2018 NAWCQ and had no clue what he was doing. If you go back and watch that profile, and he's looking at Jesse Cotton, he's like, 5 hand traps is correct, right? And Jesse Cotton is just like, what are you talking about? Like, did I tell you that it was 5? And he's like, yeah, I'm sure you told me 5 was correct. And they start talking about calculus and stuff. Jesse Cotton's the GOAT, so I chose 5. Maybe that's the wrong reasoning, but yeah, there's that. And then for the last, like, power, like, these are power cards. 3 signs, not once per turn, booyah, plus the Monster Reborn. Anytime I saw this card, I was in a winning state, especially in an opening hand. Oh my goodness, ridiculous. And then the Spice card, I don't know, 3 Pot of Avarice. This came up clutch in a few times where it was like, hey, where do you want to get back all my Prank Kids package so I can do that entire thing again? You just bring them back all with Pot of Avarice, and then you draw 2 cards. You draw 2 cards. Wait, what? And so I was thinking about the influence that this card would have in my deck, and drawing into hand traps, drawing into side deck cards, drawing into to cards that would help with my combos. Maybe I drew into a Foolish Barrel and I can get to a Revival Golem, right? So this card was great, and most people don't play it. I enjoyed playing it, and I really just wanted to have that sweet feeling of drawing 2 off the top. So that was it, 44 main. But you saw that we cut it to 41 pretty quick. And we probably could have cut it to 40 really quick.
Wait, 39, and then you just play Upstart.
Look, shout out Patrick Hoban, you're my man. I've read Road of the King 3 times. I still don't know what I'm doing though. So, yes, okay. Let's go extra deck first before the side. Prank Kids package, Meow Meow Mew and Doodle Doodle Doo. So you can get into your link plays. You can link climb into to Appaloosa. Also, this is a wind, which is important for Raptide. Also, this card's a rock. You want to tell me why this card's a rock? I don't know why this card's a rock, but it is a rock, which means that when you link it away, you can get the effect of Supplier in hand, a special summon. Also, if you just like link 1 and then you can summon Researcher, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. But I'll take it. Thanks, Konami. Appreciate that.
It's also more fuel for Block Dragon. Oh wait.
Oh, you had to do me like that. So that was great. And then you're like standard. You're always going into Raptite because Raptite is another free mill 5, and well, I say mill free Excavate 5, and then you can summon one of the tuners, unlike the main deck Adamancipator cards, which only summon rock non-tuners. So this card's great. And then if you summon a level 2 tuner, then you can go into Crystal Wing, which was the one of the level 8 synchros. The other level 8 was Dragite for going second. Some people play Borreload Savage, and then they attach Diddle Diddle Doo from Grave. But then you lose your win for Raptide if you keep Raptide on the board, or if you bring it back with Assigns. So I personally didn't like that, so I stuck with Crystal Wing and Dragite. I didn't have a problem. There wasn't a time where I was like, man, I wish I had Borreload. Next for the link climbing, of course, Appaloosa. Shout out Aiden. Thank you, appreciate it. You're the man.
First, maybe.
Yes, oh my, this artwork is the best. And of course, it's a really good card, so why would you not be playing it? For other synchros that kind of came up randomly, and this is, I kind of played this card because I played Weeping Idol. So, because you could, if you get the Weeping Idol and then you have a level 2 and they're just on the board.
Wait, yeah, that's your only level 2 non-tuner.
Exactly, yeah. So then you can make Herald. So, yeah, very questionable. Because Weeping Idol's a non-tuner, you just summon Hulk, right? Instead of this, and then you do the Hulk play. The Hulk play is really strong because then that's how you summon the Recover and you get to Nat Beast. The thing is though, you keep Hulk on the field, and this was my spice. It's not, I stole it. yeah, it's not. I did not create this myself, but you Hulk to summon Formless Synchron on your opponent's turn to draw a card, which is really valuable. And then if you have Crystal Wing up, you can make Satellite Warrior and pop like 3 cards, or maybe even 4 cards. I only did it once today, but when I did it, it guaranteed that I won the duel. Very strong. But if you just had Raptide up, you could form a Synchron and then get into Crystal Wing, because it's a quick Synchro on your opponent's turn. So I really enjoyed this 3-card package, and then the Nat Beast with the Hulk as well. The last 4 cards I played, 2 XYZs, Gallant Granites, and Abyss Dweller. The fact that you can Gallant Granite search Researcher, and because it's a rock, you can spell summon the Researcher, is fantastic. And then Abyss Dweller is probably the best rank 4 in the game right now. And then the last 2 cards, Almirage, my only Link 1 besides the Prank Kids Link 1. This is relevant if you open a Researcher and a Revival spell. You summon the Researcher, link it away immediately for Almirage. So you normal summon it, right? Because it requires a normal summon. You bring back the Researcher with the Revive spell, and then you stack a rock. So you guarantee that you get a mill off your first 5. Because if you miss that first 5, you shake and move on. So that's why I played that, and I thought that was important. Not everyone plays it. I thought it was good. And then Borrelso Dragon, which won me a few games. This card's insane. I mean, you could say that Access Code Talker is better, but I like this card, and I'm not going to complain that I don't have an Access Code Talker, but this played really well. That's 15. And then for the side deck, this is the real spice. Dimension Shifter ended turns. I just like dropped Dimension Shifter and was like, oh yeah, sweet, I get to start. And it doesn't even really affect how the Adamancipator cards play, except for the Prank Kids engine. So if I ever cited this in, I just cited that engine out. Thought this was my strongest hand trap in the side, and I was really happy I played it. I played the 3rd Skullmeister and then 3 Nibiru. I never saw Nibiru today, but in theory, it's good. Also, you can summon it off of on some of the Excavate effects, which is kind of crazy.
Wait, yeah, you can summon it off Reptite.
Yeah, 3,000 body.
It's a rock.
Yeah, so it's that's relevant. Also, if you get Nibiru'd and you play wisely, unlike me, and you hold Researcher in hand, you can summon the Researcher because the token is a rock monster, right? So you continue to play. That's it for the hand traps in the side. And then I played the 1 Pankratops, which is probably just like the best side card. There's a reason why it's at 1. Maybe it should even be banned. I'd get behind that argument. For going first, 3 Anti-Spell. So I didn't hard lose to Dark Ruler no more, and then the Imperial Order to go with that. I also cited 1 Call by the Grave. Okay, so really questionable decisions. It was because I was at 44 and I was like, well, I don't want to play 45. What's 1 more card? All of that thinking was very questionable. But maybe it was even better because legitimately I cited this in every time I was going first. And I would say half of those times I actually opened this, which is unreal. I don't know what the odds are for that, but that's crazy. And it's very good. So I should have meaned it.
Us combo players just stay drawing Call by the Grave.
Look, that's how you know if you're a good duelist. You draw Call by the Grave after you cite it. And then the last 2 cards I played 1 Mind Control. Didn't see it today. But I just thought it would be like almost like a surprise card where like you Mind Control and it puts your opponent into an awkward spot. Do they negate it? I mean, do you even allow? Maybe you allow Mind Control to go and then maybe go into a link play or something. Basically, I knew it was going to force a negate, so that's why I played it. And the last card I played was for the Prank Kids matchup, which is Light Dragon Agnister. If you summon it before the Battle Butler resolves its effects, then you basically remove Battle Butler from the field. And I thought that was going to be impactful. Didn't actually end up showing up, but in testing, supposedly, it's good. Yeah. So,
would you, for the Dimension Shifters, would you side out the Revival spells with it?
No.
You'd still keep them?
Yeah, I would still keep them in. I would consider. Maybe I would consider it, but because you're not seeing them as often because you're not hitting them off of the excavates, but you are hitting like a Rockies off an excavate, and then you can't really do any of the link plays with that because you can't summon a Dropsies from deck. So the revival spells are really strong. There's not once per turn. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous.
That makes sense.
I think that's all, though. Shout out to Yugi Bus. Jack has claimed this. This is actually my car. Okay, just so we're aware of that.
That's how we got here today.
Yes. So, shout out to Yugi Bus. Shout out to the 4 Lord of the Rings tokens, especially Toss Me. And then Gandalf, Sam, and Frodo. The homies, for sure.
What about Foodin?
Foodin, of course. Alakazam, my favorite Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, and just shout out for all the guys who played in the tournament. I love this friend group, and I just think it's really fun. I'm glad that we're doing these profiles, so we have a history, of course, what we've done. We can post them on YouTube, and maybe DZ will comment, and that like made my week. So yeah, I mean DZ, if you probably won't watch this, but you're the one who got me into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When you posted your top 8 Indianapolis Regional Madolce Brilliant Fusion deck profile back in 2016. I watched that deck profile and said, I have to play that deck, and that's what got me into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! That's all. Thank you guys for watching.
Shout out Lucas 6 M's.
Keep making
Let's go, baby.
keep making it happen.
Zexel.